This is Oft Off Topic, a show where two men with the attention spans of a squirrel try and fail to stay on topic with today's subject. Where will their oral meanderings take us? Well, stick around and listen, because today's Oft Off Topic is... stories for the month of April 2024. Yes, listeners, we're trying something different today. We're just going to go over the news stories from the last month or so and talk about them a little bit, get our opinions, and see what other facts we can find out about these news stories and pass them along to you, the listener. And speaking of listeners, I just wanted to say that we've got a couple of people on YouTube that listen to us, including one of our early subscribers, The Wise Mystical Tree. He even commented on one of our episodes saying that he was enjoying the show so far. And we hope you still are, Wise Mystical Tree. Sorry I missed your comment. That was a jerk move on my part. Same with you, James Wormsley. You commented about how you liked our Elvira series. Thank you for commenting on that. We enjoy your comments on, telling us you liked it. Thank you, and sorry we did not reply. All right.
Yeah, we dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, we did. We're still learning, so thank you for being patient with us. We hope you're still listening and enjoying. Anyways, Nathan, we are going to be talking about some news stories this month. Do you have anything particular you'd like to talk about, or would you like me to start?
Why don't you start? Because, you said, we're talking about news, and I was like, okay, I'll find news stories. And I'm like, okay, like Gaza. I'm like, that's not really funny. So,
well, it doesn't necessarily have to be funny. We can turn anything funny, even if it's
yeah, very true. Well, I wouldn't necessarily look at it necessarily funny, but I'm just like something that kind of sparks the interest. And that was just, I don't know.
As of a couple of days ago, one of the great internet memes of all time has finally passed and is no longer available in reality. Anyways, Chicago's famous rat hole pothole has been finally removed from the city. Remember that pothole looks just like the shape of a rat, which was obviously like a rat that got ran over by a steamroller?
Right. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I was one of the stories that pulled aside. Yes, that's a great story.
They finally decided that it was structurally unsound and unsafe for it to be there. Duh. So they decided to finally remove it. And a shrine actually showed up right next to it, too. There's like a little plaque that somebody made that's called the Chicago Rat Hole. There's like little Jesus candles, little stuffed rats, water bottles all around it. Just like some kid got shot there by the cops. But this is for the rat hole.
Is that what happened? I thought someone just was an asshole. They're like, I'm covering this up because, man, I hate fun.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the city just was like, it was.
You're probably right. I don't know. I just, the impression I got when the first time I heard about this on TikTok, and they're like, they made it sound like it was some get off my lawn dude who's like, I don't like these people coming by this hole. And so, because apparently it's been there for a long time.
People have gotten married in front of that hole, apparently.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. City officials removed the concrete slab along with other portions of the sidewalk because it was damaged and needed to be replaced, said Eric Schrader, a spokesperson for the Chicago Department of Transportation. Apparently, they actually have the block with the rat in, and they're debating on what to do with it, if they want to put it in a museum or something.
Well, they should save it. Or, I don't know. I guess apply. That's so dumb. I mean, it's fun, though. It's dumb but fun. So I am 100% behind the rat hole and conservation of it, but at the ssame time, come on, it's stupid.
By the way, the rat hole has been there for about 2 years, which is longer than I thought for some reason.
It's actually less. The article I read now, I just vaguely went over it, so I mean, I don't remember. I thought it was there longer, but I'm sure you're right.
I thought it was a recent thing. Nah, this article says it's only been there for I guess he says more than 2 decades. So I guess it could be anywhere from 2 decades up to 4,000 years. So
right,
yeah, right.
It didn't say anything.
Yeah, take the number 20. It's a number bigger than that. It's like, well, there's a lot of them there. So yep, the rat hole is gone. End of an era. Sad times. And also, too, apparently a lot of people were complaining about just people making the pilgrimage and taking pictures in front of it and laying down next to it and just kind of being in the way with stuff. Understandable.
Yeah, that part I do get. I'm talking about like cranky old man, get off my lawn, but it would be irritating if you live near there and you have people making the trek to come and take pictures in front of it and act like assholes. Just, I'm sure more than one person's pissed in it. Yeah.
God, you're right. There are people. I bet you I can fill that whole thing up. Watch me piss a whole rat's worth.
Oh, 100%. That thing has absolutely been full of piss before.
Yep. Somebody has peed at that and puked it. They probably put every body fluid in there over time. Thanks for putting that. Yeah. Thanks for putting that image in my head.
You're welcome.
Just a bunch of dudes, like college dudes, like having a circle jerk over the rat hole. Let's fill this, boys.
We got to fill it up.
And a less amusing one. President Biden passed the TikTok ban. So TikTok now has 9 months to sell or get out of the USA. What they do, who will know? Who knows? Will they try to sway the election? Who knows? But apparently this isn't a new thing. I guess the U.S. government did the same with Grindr a little while back. So there you go. The government will make you sell your company if they don't like you or the country you're from.
That's basically it. It's the country you're from. I mean,
Yeah.
and let's be real. Facebook was stealing people's information for forever.
Oh
And
yeah. Honestly, I couldn't care less if it's China or America. They're just stealing my info.
I mean,
Honestly, I feel like America would
absolutely.
have more. America feels like they would have more reason to use it against me than China, to be honest. So maybe I'd rather have China taking up my info.
Like, take my info, please.
Yeah, it's like China's way over there. What are they going to do to me? America, they're right across the street.
America, look, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I was actually surprised that they did this once before to Grindr. So there is some precedent. The company is calling the law unconstitutional, which, does kind of seem sort of weird, but I don't know.
I mean,
I feel like if it's such a security threat, they should just ban it on all government Wi-Fi's or something like that.
right. Like, don't allow people when they're working for whatever company to be on TikTok. I'm sure most people aren't allowed to be on TikTok anyway while they're working. It's just, tell you what though, speaking of while you're working, little slight segue. Have you noticed nowadays everyone walks around with their earbuds in? Like,
it's pretty common. More often than not, people have their earbuds in it.
Especially at work. Like, they're working and they're doing stuff and they have one earbud in. And it's just common practice now. And it blew me away the first I saw that. Not that I care, because especially since I do that now. Because I work, unfortunately, I'm back out there working with the public because I got laid off from my previous job. And, like, I do that. I have one earbud in almost the entire time.
Yep.
And I asked permission. Was like, "Are we allowed to do this?" Because they're like, "Meh." Like,
well, at least with me, I kind of need earbuds in because that way I can hear the text messages that are work related a lot easier. Because otherwise, I might not hear it coming from my pocket. But if it's like blaring in my ear, I'll hear it. So I kind of almost have to wear earbuds because sometimes it gets noisy where I'm working. Using
that's fair.
Heavy equipment and stuff. Yeah,
that's absolutely fair. I mean, like with mine, it's just yeah, I do find it. I'm sure it's annoying when someone comes in like, "Hey, where's this?" And I very obviously touch my ear. Like,
yep.
What? I mean, it's not. I'm not even trying to hide it. Just
me too. There's times where people will be having a whole conversation with me, and I'll just stare at them the entire time. And at the very end, I'll put my finger above, like, "Wait a minute," and then pause my earbuds and be like, "What?" And make them say it all again. It's kind of a jerk move, but it's fun.
Well, that and also with me, it's like the people I work with. They're like, "Hey, blah 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 blah," and I'm like, "God damn it." Oh yeah, boop.
It does make it easier to pretend you're not listening to people. Or if you're a gossipy sort, you can pretend that your earbuds are on and you can't hear people while you listen in on their conversations.
Right.
That's the two kind of people. The people who wear the earbuds so they don't have to listen to people, and the people who do it so they can gossip and eavesdrop.
Well, and my thing too is I usually listen to like an audio story or audio book or whatever. And it's like I'm sitting here listening to a robot talk to me, and all of a sudden someone's like, "Hey, I got something to say." I'm like, "Oh, man, do you have to say it to me?" But then I turn. Yeah, I'm still about trying to be liked. I don't want to be I don't want to be hated. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, blah blah. Sure, okay, yeah, great."
I think people wonder about TikTok, and I kind of wonder too if TikTok throws all their weight behind, "Hey, don't vote for Biden." You think that could actually sway the election a little bit?
Well, I don't know if it's because here's the thing: Trump would do it too. Like we were looking at just those two people because those who are going for it. It's just.
But the thing is, like 2 weeks ago, Trump went on record saying he wants TikTok around because we need it as a counteract to Facebook. He flip-flopped on the whole TikTok thing.
Well, of course he did. I mean,
apparently, like the TikTok people actually had a meeting with him like a week before that, and all of a sudden he flip-flopped. So he is actually on pro TikTok side now, which is fun to bring up because it blows people's minds who hate TikTok. Trump likes it. Why don't you like it? And they'll just be like, blah, blah, blah.
They just hate agreeing with him on anything. And I say they, I'm part of the A. I mean, I am one of those people who can't stand the man. But yeah, still, there's a little part of me is like, I agree with him on something. Damn it.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, broken clocks are right twice a day. So there you go.
Very true.
But yeah, I'm anti-TikTok ban because
honestly I prefer because YouTube has their thing, so it's Instagram, the Reels, whatever. I mean, I just prefer the interface. I like you push and hold on the left to make it go 2 times faster. I just recently discovered that, and blew me away.
I didn't even know any of that kind of stuff. I don't use TikTok that often, other than when people send me videos to it.
Yeah,
I'm TikTok illiterate, sadly.
It's so funny now. Like, they went from like 1 minute to 3 minutes. Some of them are a lot longer, and even now 3 minutes. Just like talk about like short attention spans. If you push and hold the left side of the screen, it makes it go 2 times fast. So you're like, Okay, you're talking too long. You keep on going through. And
Sometimes those people that do those videos do such dumb, long, dramatic pauses, and
oh my
the way they
god,
read it.
it's
And that's
so
when
frustrating.
she opened the book only to see blank. You're like, oh God,
Like I hate you so much right now.
get to the point, please.
Like, please, you gotta get to the point. You're killing everyone here. You
Also,
please.
the thing is, everybody always talks about TikTok being a kids app. Everybody I know that uses TikTok is over the age of 40. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, most of the kids I know like use Snapchat, I believe, more than like TikTok and stuff. So,
Yeah. My
also
kids Instagram. They
Instagram, yeah,
they primarily use Instagram.
yeah, and I don't know. There's also people I see saying that TikTok is feeds like American kids like all the stupid stuff, and it feeds all the Chinese kids like the intelligent, make your kids smart kind of feeds. Like TikTok is like socially sabotaging America, they claim, by
I mean,
sending us
honestly,
stuff to dumb down.
I've heard that too. I mean, I
Have
have
you?
heard that, and I mean, there might be something behind that,
Is that
but
or is that just the algorithm giving people what they want? Because I
that's
mean,
the
we're
thing.
Americans, we kind of just like stupid stuff.
It's also the algorithm. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really easy to go, well, they're doing this and there, and there is a argument to be had that they're doing that. Sure. In the end, though, I know what my looking habits, and I know like from what the algorithm seems to be pretty on point with me. Although I am trying to expand out just because sometimes I'll get for some I stumbled into stupidly. I clicked on some Game of Thrones stuff, and they're like, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so done with Game of Thrones. Leave me alone. I don't want to see any more of these. Just
That was
I
so
don't.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't want to see this anymore. Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, my favorite thing on there is the TikTok or is that the Reddit stories. You know what
The
I'm
ones
talking
where
about?
people the people where they read Reddit stories.
Well, there's those, and mainly it's the robots. Like you have this infinite runner, and the robots reading it to you, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
oh my
I just
god.
hate those robot voices. They just bug me, so I don't listen to those
I
things.
I got kind of used to it, especially because I have the like when I'm listening to the audiobook as a reader, it's a robot one. It's just what's really frustrating. Like, okay, part one, and you listen to part one, and you go to part two, and it's like part two's not there, and you have to go over there and like, okay, give me send me the last thing I saw. Oh, there's a problem, and so you need to look for the last thing, and it really pushes your patience if you're actually interested in the story. And the story's most likely crap anyway, because there's no vetting process. No, this is the actual true story. It's just what someone wrote in, and then sometimes people are trying to be all eloquent, and they're using big words. It's like you're not writing
Ha.
you're not writing a memoir.
You're
You're
using
right.
Philistine wrong, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, just come on, talk like a normal person. And my final gripe is it is not an update if you're just telling me the second part of the story. If you're telling me a story and then like you turn around and take a drink of water, and when you turn around and start continuing the same story, you are not updating me. You are continuing the story you originally told me.
This is a
Anyway,
continuation.
yes, like this new story you gave me. when
Ha.
like when we go back to it and we talk about it, you're not going to be updating me on the story. We're just continuing the conversation of it.
For an update to this story, some people say that
Beautiful.
some people do say that there are conspiracy people that are saying that they're trying to force this sale so like an alt-right company can buy it and start pushing Nazi propaganda to all the youths of America.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say like, oh, that's conspiracy. No, I can totally see that.
I could almost see that too, because yeah, there are a lot of neo-Nazis with money. But also
Yeah.
there's some people who just say that, I mean, America's slice of the TikTok pie probably isn't that great. They might just take their ball and go home. I mean, because I'm pretty sure TikTok's bigger in like India and Russia and, China than it is here. I mean, granted,
And
it's big here, but it's not, ubiquitous.
you're right. I mean, it's not ubiquitous. And I mean, one of the things that's frustrating is they don't know what they're talking about. That's that famous thing recently. It's like, are you from China? It's like, no, I'm from Saigon. Are you a member of the Chinese government? Like, no, I'm from Saigon. Have you ever been? God damn it. I'm from
Huh,
Saigon. You do understand there are other countries over in Asia that's not China, correct? It's just, ugh.
right. There are a lot of countries out there. Eventually, China would like them to all be China. So,
Oh, of course they would.
yeah. Uh, all the weird little shifty things that they're doing down yonder. Like, hey, it's like our property line here goes to the furthest out island according to this contract. So let's just start building some more islands. But
What could go wrong?
yeah, that's something every country does, though. That's even something people do around here with property lines, where it's like, hey, the property line's in the middle of the river, so they'll like build out the river so it gives them more property. Yeah, sometimes that actually works if you don't get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about like again stories I've heard online where those guys like, they try to be friendly with the neighbor was a jackass, and then he was slowly encroaching more into federal land. And finally he reported him because he was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna report you. So he reported him, and basically the government like, yeah, you encroached way into this public property. We're taking all this.
Yeah. Also, as an update to the TikTok story, apparently, actually, the United States does have the majority of TikTok users with 148 million. That surprises me. Indonesia is second. For some reason, I thought TikTok was bigger in other countries than.
No, I believe it.
Yeah. Also, the amount that I put into this thought in this is very, very little. So, it's not like I'm crushed by these numbers.
If only the numbers are correct.
Our next news story, we're going to go to the UK, the United Kingdom, to the Titanic Belfast Museum, a museum dedicated to the Titanic and everything Titanic related. Well, it had to get closed due to flooding, which I found was kind of funny. Yes, a leak in the roof caused the building to be flooded, and they had to close it down for repairs. So apparently, nature really has something against all things Titanic.
Nature hates Titanic. Like, fucking boat.
I'll prove you nothing's unsinkable. Yeah, that might be it. They might have claimed unsinkable, and, Mother Earth has just really had a stick up her butt since then. You name anything Titanic, I will take it down.
I'll draw you like one of my French girls.
Yeah. Apparently, too. So, Gary's Mod. Have you heard? Do you know Gary's Mod?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, you've heard of it like me, and you don't know much of it.
I've heard of it. There was a guy. The most I know about. There was a guy when I worked at GameStop. He constantly talked about that mod, and he actually would brag about how it got kicked off several times because he would go on there and make it like a nuclear bomb and set it off, and it'd piss everyone off on the server, as it should have. And like he got banned in front of me. I'm like, yeah, fun.
Eat. Now watch me make a new account with a VPN, and I'll do it again. And you're like, huh? So this is what you do all day? Yes.
And I'm like, okay, man, please leave my store.
Yeah, sir, this is an Arby's. So, in case you don't know, Gary's Mod is a popular physics sandbox game that's, I believe it's been on Steam for quite a long time now. People love it. You can do this, that, whatever in it. But apparently now they are pulling all Nintendo-related assets regarding that game because I guess they got a cease and desist from Nintendo saying, take all this stuff down. However, some people are saying that this is actually like a copyright troll and wasn't actually Nintendo. There's people that go around like pretending to be Nintendo and just because they think it's fun. Sort of like the guy who sets off the bomb in Gary's Mod you were just talking about. So some people are actually saying that it might not have actually been Nintendo that told him to take it down because Gary's Mod is free. And everything I know about all these mods and everything is Nintendo can only really tell you to take it down if you're making money off of it. So they might be right on the fact this isn't actually Nintendo taking them down. Sort of like that's what was it? The Switch emulator you heard about recently that that dude got sued out of existence on. Apparently, Nintendo was completely fine with him having that emulator out right up until he decided to put out a Patreon being like, hey, if you want extra features, you can throw me some money and get that. Because the instant you take a dime of money on Nintendo IP, that's when they come after you, even if it's a penny. Because that means you're profiting off of their work. However, if you're like, taking Nintendo's work and making no money off of it, they don't have a huge leg to stand on, really. As long as you're also not using it to, like, promote your own stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Just as much as I hate the idea of them kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for, gatekeeping it, it's also theirs. The time when I start getting kind of frustrated when they're like, you can't emulate this game that you have no access to legally. We're not selling it as an emulator. We're not doing anything with it. We have this IP that's been sitting in a drawer gathering cobwebs for 25 years. But don't you touch it? Like, no, no. If you're not doing
balloon fight
with it,
game.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything with it, and then the only way I can get to access to this game is by playing an emulator or some other, then that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
It was the Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu that was hit for $2.4 million by Nintendo last year. But yeah, Yuzu, apparently they were completely fine with Yuzu because they weren't charging a dime with it, but then the owner decided to put up a Patreon, and the instant that went up, Nintendo got him. Which makes sense because I used to be into the emulators and stuff, and at least it used to be if you download an emulator, there's usually a text file in there that very plainly says, this is free. We are not charging a dime for this. We never will. If you paid for this, this is not us. This is free, 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 free. which is basically their way of saying, hey, we are not profiting anything off this, so leave us alone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, those text files are very, very adamant on the fact, like, this is free. Don't ever tell anybody you paid for this, please, for the love of God. Because again, then Nintendo gonna be like, hey, you quote unquote profited off of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Gary's mod, if you play that, bummer. A lot of Nintendo assets are going down. You can no longer have Mario setting off a bomb and blowing up Gordon Freeman, whatever you do in that game.
I assume that's what you're doing in the game.
Yeah, I assume. I mean, those sandbox games are a lot of fun, I guess, if you got good imagination, which I usually don't, because I'll play those sandbox games and just be like, well, I built a house. Now what? And then other people like building full cities, with physics-based transportation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I like the idea of open sandbox games, and like even Sims. I'm like, okay, I built a house, and now I don't know. I'll put this here. No, you have a family, great.
Play The Sims 4 on the PS4 or PS5, and it was fun at first, but then it started turning into a chore, and it was just like life. Where it's like, hey, I want to take my guy to the club. Oh wait, I got to work in 2 hours. So shower, go to work, come back, tell your guy to go to sleep, or he gets stressed out. But then I was online, and I guess in the forums, it turns out the fun way to play The Sims 5 or Sims 4 is just turn on all the cheats and give yourself infinite money and just say F it and just do whatever you want. Just like start, building giant houses and burning them down full of people or other sick things you want to do.
That's what girls do. They don't burn the house down, but like they have, but yeah,
that gets old after a while. I mean, you can only, crush somebody mentally so many times before it gets boring. He just keeps crying. Yeah, it was one of the first mean things I ever did to a sim was I put him in a house all by himself with just like a little computer, and then I deleted all the doors and windows and no bathroom or nothing. He just sat around and cried until the microwave exploded and killed him. Burned him to death.
Was it suicide?
Paramedics couldn't get into the building to get him.
Was it suicide?
I'd like to think it was.
Like,
I don't know why I'd like to think that, but
I needed escape.
Do you got a new story you want to bring up yet, or you want me to keep going, Nate?
I mean, you're doing great.
That's your way of saying I don't have one, right?
No, well, here's the thing. I did, but my computer crashed and I lost them all.
We take you back to Africa 2012. Remember back then, Nate? Way back when. Remember Coney 2012, that whole thing? The internet sensation. Hey, let's go get that African warlord who's like trafficking people and murdering villages and this and that.
Murdering villages? What?
Joseph Coney, the African warlord.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Focus on the story, not on your work. Damn it.
I'm not working. I'm looking at news stories. I found them on Reddit, and I typed in news stories, and I was like scrolling, like, come on, Nathan, get something. Let's find a story. And then you were like, oh, this guy's murdering people. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, anyways, Joseph Coney, he was a man that documentary on. The whole world was like, hey, we got to go get that dude. And then later, the guy who made the documentary wound up jacking it in San Diego. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about Coney. Well, Obama decided, hey, we're going to go hunt that dude down and get him. And then Trump eventually was like, nah, that's too much time and effort. We're going to stop going after him. So he's been kind of like in hiding, doing his Coney stuff, probably more murdering and raping. And now, because they just kind of want to show up America, the Kremlin has announced that they are sending the Wagner Group off to Africa to hunt for Joseph Coney to do what America could not and show how they are superior to us. Will they catch him? Who knows? But
will they actually try? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Will the Wagner Group just be like, screw this Russian military, we're just going to retire down here and disappear? Because that's probably what I would do if I was in the Russian military, because that place sounds awful. So apparently they're going to be searching 33,000 square miles, an area larger in South Carolina where they think he is.
In South Carolina? I doubt that.
An area the size of South Carolina.
Trying to find somebody like that in a huge area, like, I don't know, man. And particularly where everyone hates us. Hates them, most likely, too. It's just, I mean, because these guys get so much power, and they make everyone think that they're the good guys, which doesn't make any sense to me. And, I don't know, maybe it's also just my skeptical mind. I can't see me frenetically following anybody.
According to the sources say that the Wagner Group attacked the village of Yemen, where Coney had a camp within 10 miles of, but they still haven't found him because he moved on since then.
Yeah.
Then again, also, I mean, this could be one of those things where the Wagner Group's down there just doing their thing, and they're just like, I don't know, just lie and send back a report. We can make AI design some stuff for us. Yeah.
I have a...
They do suspect he might be in the Sudan now, though. So there you go. Joseph Coney, your days might be up. Putin might be coming for you. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Oh, also too, I think the U.S. actually has a bounty out on him for like $5 million. So if Russia captures him, we might have to give him $5 million for it.
Oh, really?
That would honestly be kind of funny.
That'd be kind of funny.
That would be. Hey, it'd be one of those things. Putin would be like, "No, you deliver to me in person, and dollar bills or something like that," and he'd be like rolling around on the ground in the money.
Like Breaking Bad, where they're trying to lay on the big giant block of money.
Yeah, I never got that far in Breaking Bad. I made it 2 seasons in and then got sidetracked.
Let's say this is fairly Oklahoma fisherman who thought friend was trying to feed him to Bigfoot, convicted of murder.
Did he murder Bigfoot, or the dude trying to feed him to Bigfoot?
So I actually looked this up. They were out there, what are they calling it? Noodling. Have you heard of noodling?
Yeah, that's where you stick your hand in like goo and then you just jam it down in the water and wait for a crawfish to deep throat your arm.
Or yeah, apparently that's what was happening.
Catfish.
And just like Gollum, way back in the day, he was fishing with his buddy, but instead of finding the Buriga Power, he thought he saw a Sasquatch-looking thing, and he swore that he's like, my buddy's trying to feed me a Sasquatch, and he choked and he strangled him to death. And then he got convicted.
So what's the over-under on crystal meth being involved in this?
There is a high possibility.
There's a very high possibility.
Here we go. The paper reported that the forensic psychologist testified that Sanders was suffering from, now prepare yourself, everyone hold their hats in their head and make sure their pearls in their clutch.
Get next to your fainting couch.
Methamphetamine-induced psychosis, and believed he was defending himself. Boy, did you nail that one on the head.
Yeah.
And he's getting, I don't know. It's something like that too. It's like, they were friends, but he got life without parole. And that's like, I doubt he's going to do it again. But
probably
who knows?
Not.
He was, it was methamphetamine-induced psychosis.
This is true. I'm just out there like noodling for catfish, and all of a sudden, you think you see the Bigfoot, and your first thought isn't like, hey, look, Bigfoot, that's neat. It's like, your first thought is, oh my God, there's Bigfoot there. My buddy's obviously trying to feed me to Bigfoot. There's a little bit of a leap in logic there, I feel like.
And this guy was like, his obituary read, Jimmy truly enjoyed everything outdoors. Jimmy's the guy who's killed. He's like, he loved to fish, hunt game, ride four-wheelers, and most of all, drink his beer on a big bonfire. Jimmy never met a stranger and would give anyone the shirt off his back. And also, apparently, suspected of selling his friends to Sasquatches.
This also postulates that Sasquatches are actually meat eaters and predators, I believe. So, that kind of does a turn on Harry and the Hendersons.
Well, that or, Sasquatches are big into sex rings.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
We like to collect full-grown men and use them as fleshlights.
Dave, you're trying to feed me to a Bigfoot. Now, listen, Cletus, I'm not trying to feed you to him. He wants you for sexual reasons. Now, just go with the Bigfoot. Be all right. Here.
I mean, he might want to toss your salad, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to judge him for his sexual proclivities.
Now, here is a big old jar of Vaseline.
I might just be a humble country lawyer, but I believe he wants to eat your ass, son.
I might be a humble country proctologist, but I do not think you can accommodate that man, that Bigfoot young man.
He prefers if you don't wipe first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you think Bigfoots get a lot of dingleberries if they don't wipe properly?
I mean, surely they do.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise they have to have like a bamboo butt. And of all the Bigfoots I've seen, drawn and sketched, whatever, I've never seen one have a bamboo
big
butt.
Old inflamed, unless maybe they had like chiggers or something bad like that. But yeah,
right.
So yeah, so if Bigfoots were real, we'd probably be having like rescue videos of people like going out the woods and like trimming the dingleberries off of their butts so they could poop again and stuff like that. We tranquilized this Bigfoot and shaved its butt and then returned it to its family with a tag attached.
That grooming practice, like picking out dingleberries.
Yeah. Good times. So the guy's in prison, huh?
Yep, and that was it. The end.
Yep, gonna have a long time to sit there and be like, well, that sucked. Killed my buddy. Or, I mean, maybe he's still in his meth-induced psychosis and he thinks it really happened. Which makes it really interesting for his cellmate.
He is still just like all in. Like, no.
He's like, no, I know what I saw. That Bigfoot was putting a bib on while my buddy was counting money. Bigfoot money.
I saw him point my direction and shook the hand of Bigfoot. I know he sold me to that thing.
I know a gentleman's agreement when I see one.
Right?
It reminded me when I sold my daughter off to that traveling salesman. Do you have any other stories at the moment, Nathan?
Well, yeah, I had one other one, but I don't know. It's kind of dumb. I mean, that one, not the other one was like the height of whatever. Vampire facials are at an unlicensed spa infected 3 people with HIV. CDC finds. And like, of course, because
Heard about that.
where would you license a vampire facial spa? Like, is that even something that would anybody would of any kind of like government thing be like, oh yeah, we have these applications for vampire facials with unlabeled tubes of blood, just like jamming them in people's faces. What could go wrong?
In theory, you're using your own blood for the vampire facials, so, But if you don't clean the equipment or use fresh needles, because that's what it was, I think, is they're reusing needles on people. Because do you know what a vampire facial is?
Let's see. Yeah, you're just sticking blood in your face.
Yeah, well, it's your own blood, and I think what it is too is they like poke little holes in your face too, so like the blood like seeps into your face better and like nourishes your skin.
Yeah,
Which
blood's drawn from under their arm, and the platelets are separated out and applied to the patient's face using microneedles.
yeah, microneedling.
Kim Kardashian did it.
Yep. So does Henry Zabrowski's wife from last podcast on the left. So I learned about this.
Oh wow.
Yep. Let's see, vampire facial licensing. Oh, apparently this is like a whole program thing that you can go to. It's like vampirefacial.com. The training seminar is invented by Charles Runnels, MD. It's a whole like school you go to, like an online thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Google vampire facial licensing, and all of a sudden you'll just be like, well, here's how to get your trademarks in it, and here's how to enroll in the workshops.
And licensing through who?
The vampire facial people. I'm pretty sure they license themselves, and it's kind of like how those people who sell their friends to Bigfoot licensing themselves. It's self-licensing.
And it's looked it up. Like vampire facial with Gwyneth Paltrow, and she's like some lady's like stabbing her thing in her face.
Yeah, right. This seems like something out of a horror movie. Like, nah, that can't be real. It seems like something from like the 70s. This is how we stay young.
I did. You did too. I did too. There you go.
Ah, I only did 2. I thought I did 3 already.
Oh, did you do 3? Okay.
No, probably. But no. So, Boston Dynamics introduced their new version of the Atlas robot. And they did it with what's kind of a creepy video. Did you watch that video yet that I sent you, Nate? The YouTube video for the new Boston Dynamic robot?
I remember you sent it to me.
Hold on, I'll send it to you again. So, for those of you listening in, you should go take a look at this video real quick. All you gotta do is search on YouTube, the all new Atlas Boston Dynamics. It was a video that came out 11 days ago, so that would be the 17th of April.
Because I've seen this before.
They demonstrate how it does certain things, and when you watch this video, though, for you at home and you, Nathan, I want you to think of this as right after you just shot this thing with a plasma cannon, and you're like, yes, the nightmare is over. This robot is finally dead. And then just see what it does, because it's kind of amusing, sort of.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot sleeker than the ones I've seen before.
Like the menacing rotate its body 180 degrees and just come storming at you. It can attack you from any direction, Nate.
Oh, 100%. Like, this is absolutely one of those things where you're playing a video game, and you come in the room, and it's like, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Quick, shoot it.
Yeah, that's all I could think about when I was watching that video. It was like, that's totally like something from an old like horror movie from like the 80s where, sci-fi horror movie where you think you smash a robot with a hammer and knock it to the ground and you're like, finally, it's down. And all of a sudden, like those legs go all weird and props itself up and spins around. It's like, must destroy, exterminate.
Head turns. Oh my God.
But the thing that kind of made me chuckle about that video, well, not so much that video, but it led me to another video, which I'm going to send you, Nathan. And for you at home, it's the LimX, LIMX Dynamics Bipedal Robot. And it's just a short video, but I like the fact, too, on the most replayed section, you get to watch a man take a robot out into the woods and beat it senselessly. And it's kind of weird to watch because, on one hand, you are well aware of the fact that it's like a dude beating on a toaster. On the other hand, the way the robot reacts kind of makes you feel a little bit bad for it, kind of-ish, sort of. Because at one point, send you the link now. Like, he's beating because he's trying to show off how stable the robot is by kicking it and hitting it with sticks and stuff. And at one point, he like gives it a good hard kick, and even though it's trying to just like balance itself, it looks kind of like it's trying to get away and runs away, and he runs over there and grabs it by a handle and comes dragging it back, and it's like kicking and screaming. It's just like, ah, and he starts beating on it more. To see what I'm talking about, go in 1 minute and 30 seconds into the video, where you'll see out in the woods a kindly old man just beating on a robot. And this is one of those things that it looks just like a scene out of the Animatrix, where they'd be like, robots talking to each other, be like, this is why we must exterminate humans. Look what he did to our children.
I was just thinking that, like, Animatrix, because there's a scene in Animatrix that's really disturbing, where this lady's walking around and this crowd starts beating on her, ripping her clothes off. She's screaming, "No, help me!" And then they hit her with a baseball bat or a sledgehammer. It turns out to be like a robot, and she's like, "Ugh!" Like, no, like, well, no wonder they killed us all, or they turned us to batteries.
Are you watching this video, Nate?
Yeah,
yeah. Did you scroll halfway through to watch the dude just beating on the poor thing?
Well, I saw him hit it, the stick. Like, hey, it's going. Here it comes, being a dick. He's trying to kick his legs out from under him.
Grabbing it. It just feels like him grabbing like a child by the ear and dragging him along, or grabbing him by the arm and be like, get back here.
You ever see the...
Slightly reminiscent of my childhood, I guess.
You ever see the ones where they edited it, where they actually made it look like the robot took a gun and started shooting at him?
Oh, yeah, the Corridor Crew guys did that.
Yeah.
Which for a while was being passed off as being legitimate footage, and people were buying it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, even I, for a split second, I'm like, see, this is what happens. Then the little voice man's like, nah, it's not what happened. So I took 30 seconds to Google it. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's not what happened.
Yeah.
Well, even, can you imagine, like, you're trying to run, you're running away and someone sends after you, and it's just constantly going. You know, what especially if it's solar powered or something, it won't stop. Like, you run and stop when you're trying to rest, and you're breathing hard, and also you're...
I thought you were going to say, could you imagine being the guy dude of Boston Dynamics whose robot goes crazy, grabs a gun and murders a bunch of people, looking at that footage and be like, yeah, I'm going to release that online.
Right.
Like, no, you fool, no. Also, too, that little Limex walker does kind of look like a little baby Imperial walker, too, which is kind of cute.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does.
ATST.
Yep. And also, too, bipedal movement's gotten really good on those robots, because remember when it was, like, really hard to do that? This thing's actually pretty impressive, all things considered. Also, apparently, too, just walking on two legs is pretty hard for any living creature. So what we do is a minor miracle in ways.
Yeah, they're still, like, I've read they still are, like, not 100% sure how, humans walk.
Yeah, we kind of have a good idea, but at the same time, it's like, maybe we do it on faith, Nathan. Faith alone. You gotta have faith to walk. Yeah. So, social media has been rather disturbed lately by the South Dakota's governor's, what is her name? Kristi Noem. She put out a book of her memoirs where she talks about how she had a farm dog that just wasn't trainable, so she took it out back and had to shoot it. And then she also drug a goat of hers out back and had to shoot it, and failed and had to shoot it again while it was suffering. This, of course, is freaking out many, many people.
As it should. I mean, that's serial killer stuff.
Yeah. The sad thing is this happens on farms way more than anybody would ever want to admit. The whole, hey, this animal's being a pain in the ass, just shoot it kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of Republicans are actually turning against her because this felt like it was going to be like one of her, she was trying to do like the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing of being like, look how badass I am. I'm so, rural and bucolic. I can murder animals without feeling bad. Seems like it's kind of like, going sideways on her though.
Yeah, as it should. As, I mean, there's politics and there's politics and there's politics. And like, if you are a politician, you have to know how to play your audience. And I understand, like, oh, my audience, they're rural and they're right.
They're gonna be like, F guns.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get them behind me. I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's my girl. She's not afraid to do what needs to be done.
And it's like you forgot that is not happy memories. Like no one is.
Yeah.
No one in that area or that realm of like population is like happily standing upon the rooftop going, I remember when I shot my dog. No one's doing that.
Yeah, well, there's a very small percentage, but those are the same people who probably heard the story. Is like, yes, I'm going to vote for her. But yeah, it's a very small percentage to think that that's a cool thing.
I mean, again, like it sucks, but politics is, trying to be the most popular person. And
yeah,
you're absolutely right. There's absolutely that subgenre of people that are like, oh, I can't, I just, can't bust it unless I remember thinking of my dog getting his head blown off. It's like, well, you're 1 in 1,000, or hopefully more than that. Yeah, 1 in 1,000,000. Like that's, she got your vote, but no one else's.
Also, the dog was only 14 months old that you put down. Seems kind of early to give up on a dog, to be honest.
Yeah, 14 months old?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more like she was bad at raising the dog than anything.
Right.
But yeah, that turned out to backfire on her. So,
Good.
haha, take that.
And
Yeah,
I will.
apparently it's going to be it was an excerpt from her new memoir, No Going Back, which was to be released on May 7th. That's actually pretty succinct titling there. There's no going back for her either now.
No, and I think again, like that was a excerpt that was released that she didn't fully release the thing.
And that also means that, I don't know, does that mean that she was the one that picked out that excerpt from the book, being like, yes, I want this part to be released before everything else? Yeah, that'll get people talking. Yeah, oh no, I guess it was. She did post it on social media. Got 6 million views in one day. Yeah. But it's kind of nice when people are dumb enough to out themselves like that, so at least you can, quote unquote, put them on a list.
Oh no, not the list.
The List. I actually do have a story about The List, sort of. The story came out. Apparently, China has 8.3 million people who are like massively in debt, and they deciding to basically publicly shame them in ways until they pay back their debts. Including one thing, I guess they get a custom ringtone. So if you ever call them up, you get a ringtone basically being like, "This dude's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay his bills. You should probably tell him to start paying his bills. You don't want to be associated with a deadbeat, do you?" That kind of stuff as a ringtone. Which, here in America, we have no shame. People would probably try to ruin their credit just so they could get that ringtone. I'm not even kidding. Couldn't you see people do that? Be like, dude,
Yeah.
I just got to run up another $10,000 in debt. I'm going to get that custom ringtone. Then rap myself a rap song about it or something. Because, public shaming doesn't work in America quite as well as other places because a lot of us don't have any shame. But also, things too, if you are too in debt, is they will also like ban you from going on expensive vacations or ban you from taking out any loans, even bad ones. It'll screw you over. What was the other thing that they do? It all felt like kind of punishment that the poor people who had bad credit wouldn't really care about. Oh yeah, like you can't fly on airlines anymore. It's like, most people I know who are really broke and in a lot of debt, probably don't fly on a lot of airlines.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they're too
exactly
busy.
like.
These are people who are scared to go to Seattle because, it's the big city where people get murdered all the time.
I mean, I still remember when I was working at GameStop and I'm in Shelbyville. This lady's like, "Hey, I want this video game. My daughter ate the other video game. It was a Wii game too, so I don't know how they ate a disc." But I was like, "Okay, well, it's over in Louisville." And she's like, "I don't want to go. Last time I went to Louisville, I almost got killed." And it's like because of the traffic. It's like, oh my god, lady, can you please take it crazy somewhere else?
Right.
And
I drove by a car accident that happened 3 hours earlier. That could have been me.
I mean, I get it. Like Louisville, there are absolutely places in Louisville that are super scary. Like people get shot every day. It's really bad. Like, but here's also the thing: those people most likely, unless you're there for like clearly there by drugs, you're going downtown for like a nefarious reason. A lot of times, if you're, particularly a white person going to that area, they a lot of times will leave you alone because
they don't want to have attention brought to them.
Right. And they're like, okay, that person is either, is most likely like social service because my wife she used to be CPS and she was young, dumb, and she would go downtown and she'd just be like at 2 a.m. walking through the streets of, they call the West End of Louisville, where she's down there and they left her alone because they knew if they messed with this, cute little white girl coming through there, like that's a surefire way to get a shit ton of police in the area. So, and plus they know she's doing her job. She's not, she's just if it was
those areas that have super high crime, a lot of times it's like criminals on criminal action, criminals murdering other criminals. Very rarely is it like just some random, I'm just gonna pop out my door and just murder some stranger for no reason.
On the flip side, like there was a rural person, like they went out there to get their kids and they were killed. It is a significantly more dangerous to go out in the backwoods with a bunch of like poor white people than it is to go into more urban areas.
Just chuck your body in the septic tank and forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
And
it's like I don't know how they could get away with it. It's not like they didn't tell anybody they were coming. This person came to your house and now they're not anywhere. It's a good chance, and you're missing. Like they left. So we all know what happened. And of course they got arrested. They lost their kid. Of course they did. And that's the whole reason why that guy was down there. And I don't even think they were just doing a check. I don't think they're necessarily taking their kid for the story I'm thinking of. It's madness.
The hikers go missing on the Appalachian Trail, I hear too.
Yeah. I mean, it's
ding 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 ding.
Exactly.
So other things you can't do in China if you got way too much debt is you cannot book vacations or expensive hotels, buy properties, access higher levels of insurance coverage, or use toll roads or bullet trains or planes. None of these things would dissuade anybody from like Kansas who's high in debt from racking up more debts. Yeah, kind of like the social credit score. People in America would just be tanking it to see how low they could get it. So there we are. Done with China. China,
Boo,
if you
China.
yeah. If you rack up enough debt, you get rewarded with a free ringtone. Someday, maybe we'll try to find that ringtone someday if we can, see what it sounds like. I mean, we won't be able to understand it because it's in Chinese, but be fun if I had a catchy little beat going on in the background of it. What's your next story, Nate?
Okay, I'm desperately like click, click, click. Come on, give me something I can work with. I let on this. Let's see if you can work with it. A Florida sheriff says 10 people were wounded by gunfire at the fight broke out at a party venue. Let's roll with this. Teenage gunman murdered 10 people. I don't know. That's not like
When did this happen?
It happened exactly. When did this happen, dude? Fucking any day. Especially in Florida. It actually happened recently. This is published like today. Let's see. I can't do anything with this. Sorry. It's like, let's see. Let's get funny on this. It's a Florida person who shot people. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. Nathan failed.
Uh,
Yeah, I think I have such high standards in news stories. I'm like, come on, something. And it's like, I find, like, you actually found some decent ones. Police in Tennessee fatally shot a man after he shot a woman in the face. She is expected 5. Okay. That's fun. A jury finds Wisconsin man guilty. Sexual assault 20 months. Okay, let's pass that one. I should read the whole thing before I start reading it.
Oh, we know you'll never do that.
Yeah, because a lot of times I get a lot of entertainment news, stuff like that. That in my feed, a lot of times I don't do world news that often, just because like I don't know, that's just what I do.
Said it had to be world news.
Or any news. Sorry, just news. It's outside like hey, Wolverine. And you've seen the new trailer. You sent it to me, I believe.
It
looks very good.
Fallout 4 Fallout the TV series got released, and because of that, what was it in Europe? Sales of the Fallout 4 game went up 6,500% right after the debut of that series. Great series too. If you haven't watched it, check it out.
I haven't watched it. I saw the first one, a little bit of the second episode, and I downloaded Fallout 4 to the PS4 because that of the Fallouts, that is my favorite. I know that's actually not a popular opinion. New Vegas, everyone's like, oh no, Vegas is the best. And yeah, I mean,
People hate New Vegas nowadays. Actually, it's weird.
Really?
People have kind of flipped on that. Yeah, now most people say 3 is the best, and then there's a lot of people who actually say 4 is the best too now. But yeah, you're right. 4 when it first came out, everybody seemed to hate it. Now everybody seems to love it. I don't know.
Fallout 3?
Yeah. I'm on some Fallout groups on like Facebook and stuff, and it's kind of like people hate on Fallout New Vegas more than Fallout 3, believe it or not. Which I liked Fallout New Vegas better, but that was also, I think it's easier to play a bad guy in New Vegas. Like, it's easier to do like awful things to people.
I'm an idiot. I do like Fallout 3 more. I've played Fallout 4 for a minute, and I haven't played that far. I don't know why. I was thinking Fallout 3 is Fallout 4. That was my own stupid dumb head. Fallout 3 is definitely the best.
Big, dumb, stupid, dumb head. Yeah.
Right. Like, Fallout 3, it's like, wait, did I say the wrong thing? Sure enough, yeah, Fallout 4, I barely played it. But Fallout 3, I played the shit out of that game.
I just barely played Fallout 4, huh?
Yep. I got in there for a little bit, just playing for it, and it's like, I don't know, I didn't get very far.
Another settlement needs your help.
Yeah. How about this? Cicadas, they're coming back, and cicadas are making so much noise that residents are calling
people
the police
are calling
in South
cops.
Carolina.
Yeah.
But what are they supposed to do? Just go out there and start randomly shooting in the distance?
Yeah, actually, that probably happened.
I mean, it's starting at some point. I mean, let's see when. It hasn't happened around here yet.
Yeah, apparently this year it's really bad too. From what I heard, is because it's like a double cicada hatching. Because normally it's like an overlap. So
the 13 year and the 17 year are supposed to be coming out at the same time.
If you're a listener who doesn't know what a cicada is, they're from the Midwest of America, and apparently they come out from under the ground every 7 years and they scream in trees.
13.
13? Okay.
Well, there's 2 broods. There's brood looks like 11 and brood 13. And there's other broods as well, but like these are the 2. Like one of them stays underground for 13 years, and the other one stays underground for 17 years. And it just so happened mathematically this year they're both coming out.
My God, cicadas are like the original vault dwellers. They come out after X amount of years and explore the world, scream and die.
Last time this happened, I can't remember which was 13 or 17, but last time one of these things, I mean, oh my God, dude, it was just so loud right here. I wanted to go to my dad's house. It was a cloud of cicadas. I mean, and they're harmless. They look evil and they look nasty. But
The
like
worst they can do is run into your head when they're flying and kind of.
That really is the worst they can do. Is like you're strolling along and they might beam you, and that's not it.
Whap! What was that? And there's one laying on the ground, just like ah.
So yeah, I mean they're supposed to come out here around this area.
And every once in a while, you see a story about people being like, "You can eat these too if you want." Which I mean, technically, you can eat anything, I guess.
I don't know. I'm looking at this map, and I mean, maybe not. At least not around here, because I'm looking at the broods, and the two broods they're talking about. They're more to the east of us. Oh, there still might be a little bit of blue pull up, however, but yeah, it looks like my area is not going to be the worst hit by the cicadas, which is good because I hate cicadas.
Do you? They're just loud and annoying. They remind me of children. They're loud and obnoxious.
So yeah, they also remind me of heat. Whenever I hear one of them going off, it's usually when it's hot. So yeah, when I hear them, immediately my brain goes to like hot and humid.
Oh, famous woman abuser and penis loser John Wayne Bobbitt had to have all his toes cut off.
Man, he just can't keep appendages on. Why?
Nope. Apparently he had a bad condition going back to the whole Camp Lejeune thing. He got like contaminated water and a cut in his foot, and ever since then has had like weird stuff going on, and has been having to have his foot like slowly amputated.
Yeah, he did porn after that, and then he knocked up one of his porn stars.
Oh, I didn't know he knocked up a porn star. I remember the porn thing.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure. Bobbitt.
So you think the baby's got a messed up penis too, like with stitches already in it and everything, and
already?
Yeah, it's like already. That's like one of those genetic things.
Yeah, sure enough. Back in 1990, I mean this is 1994. So yeah, porn star says she's pregnant by a Bobbitt. What?
Ha!
This might be someone else. Bobbitt. What the hell? Who the hell is that? John Wayne Bobbitt. I mean, John Wayne. Whatever. I mean, anyway, I might even be like, remember the wrong person. It was John Wayne, wasn't it?
John Wayne Bobbitt. That was his name.
Yeah, 46-year-old one-time porn star said the bed of the scores of women after his members are reattached. So yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, I'm sure he did. I mean, women will sleep with him like men for like any stupid ass reason.
There's a bunch of chicks who probably have Frankenstein penis on their bucket list.
Right?
Yeah.
And he looks like
he's got like little bolts on the neck of his penis, like. Rawr.
Hey, he looks like an asshole too. Just look at him. Look at his dumb face.
Yeah. You just want to cut his penis off.
I mean,
look on his face.
He has a face. It's just like you just want to cut his penis off. I mean,
yeah. So 40 years ago, he knocked up a porn star. Know what else happened 40 years ago, Nate? Space Ghost Coast to Coast actually got released on Adult Swim, starting off the whole Adult Swim thing. Change our lives forever. Do you have any other stories, Nate?
No.
This is where the ending jingle goes. This is where the ending jingle goes. I don't know if we need one. I don't know if we'll get one. But if we do, then here is where it goes.